Froglights are Minecraft's newest light source and genuinely one of the most interesting. They come in three colors, the green called verdant, the purple called pearlescent, and the yellow called ochre, depending on which color frog produced them. They can also be placed in three unique orientations as shown. The farm we're building today is pretty simple. Force magma spawns, drop them into a kill chamber, use powdered snow to shrink them, and let a bunch of frogs eat them up. Frogs can only eat the baby magma, but they do so pretty quickly. Each baby magma slime is going to equal one new Froglight. Frogs can be found in swamps and mangrove swamps, and then led and bred with slime balls like this. They'll then place frog spawn into the water's edge, just like that. You can then enclose that area so the tadpoles don't run off when they hatch like I've done here. Then when the tadpoles are born, simply catch them with a bucket of water. Tadpoles are born in groups of 2 to 6. If you grow a tadpole up in an icy climate, it'll become this green variant. If they grow up in a temperate or moderate temperature biome, we're going to see these orange versions here. And in a hot biome such as this jungle, they'll become this grayish color. I built this on stream the other night, and all I did was put a box around a small pool of water. Then I just waited for them to grow up. I put a nether portal close by so that I could make transporting them easy. Then it's as simple as just leading the frogs into the nether with a slime ball, following them in yourself, and leading them where you want to go for your farm build. Attaching leads to the frogs does help tremendously, as you can run much quicker than the frogs will follow you on their own. Bonus points that they look a little bit funny while running. Once at the farm, you can take the leads off them and lead them with slime balls again to get them into the farm. Also, guys, what is wrong with your friend? Anyways, the same thing applies in the cold biomes. You'll need to keep the water from freezing, so put a roof over it or torch spam like I did. Drop the tadpoles in, wait for them to grow up. Once they do, lead them through the nether portal, go in with them and lead them to the farm just as we did before. Hot frogs will produce purple lights, cold frogs will produce the green, and temperate frogs will produce the yellow lights. Okay, to build the farm, you're going to need these 2 shulkers of items and a few other things. First, you're going to need at least 27 stacks of solid blocks. You can use whatever you like, but I'm using deep slate and the mud bricks just in the kill chamber. You'll also need at least 16 stacks of glass, a stack of powered rails, half a stack of unpowered rails, 18 levers, 24 iron bars, some chests and hoppers depending on how much storage you want, scaffolding, and the materials for 2 iron golems. Let's start with the chests and hoppers. Place 9 chests in a row like this. You should be facing into and building within a basalt delta, so check that now and continue adding your storage. Double chests, hoppers, double chests, and hoppers, as many as you'd like. Now this farm does produce at max about 21,000 items per hour. If you have 4 different layers of storage times 9, you're going to have 36 double chests, and that will hold about 3 hours of AFK time. If you're only going to build the half-sized one, which we're going to build here, then you can AFK for 6 or so hours. That's going to be plenty for me, so I'm just going to build this with 36 chests in total. Once your storage is set up, place a hopper facing into the top of each one. Then add a temporary block here, add a solid block on top of that, and then run a line of solid blocks along the top of these chests. Go off the back of the hoppers and make a 9x9 platform that sits behind the hoppers away from the front of the farm. On the back side of this, put another temporary block and a block above that, and then run a solid line of blocks exactly like you did on the front of the farm. Now grab your powered rails, levers, and set up a track with 3 powered rails on each end and 3 normal rails in the middle. You can use fewer hopper minecarts than this, but this farm produces a lot of items, so I'd suggest setting up all 9 rails. If you do want to set up fewer hopper minecarts, you could just set up more hoppers facing into these ones. That way the hopper minecart is dropping off more items per trip. But with this setup, the farm should look like this at this point. Go back to the top and add hopper minecarts to each of the rails. If you haven't powered it yet from underneath, they won't all start, but you can just power it with these levers that we have. Click the levers on and go back up and push all of the ones that didn't start the first time. Now go back up and build a 9x9 platform directly over the minecart rails. I'm going to use a different solid block, in this case the new mud bricks, but you can use basically any block you want for this. Once you have that filled in, place a temporary block outside the platform, glass on top of that. Now build a glass outline all the way around the farm. When that's done, you're going to build the glass wall up 4 more or 5 high in total. The design choices here are mostly aesthetic. You can use another block if you choose. I choose glass here so you can see inside and see what's going on. On top of the last row of glass blocks, place your solid block and cover the entire glass wall, including the corner blocks whether you added the glass there or not. With the first row of solid blocks in place, you should now move frogs into the farm. So you just build a staircase up the side of the farm. You're going to knock out 2 glass blocks once you get up there, and then lure frogs up with a slime ball and walk into the farm so they follow you in. You can add as many frogs as you want, but 16 per platform is best, so I'm going to need about 32 here. The next thing you need to add is the powdered snow. Now I got a number of questions on stream about this, so let me show you the easiest way to tell powdered snow from regular snow. From close up they look very similar, but far away, as you can see, it's a much lighter area with far fewer shadows. That's the powdered snow. If you approach from a distance, it's very easy to see. Now you're going to need between 46 and 81 buckets of powdered snow, so collect that now. I use 81 just to keep things simple. If you're running low, you can skip every other block and put a checkerboard pattern here. That'll work just as well. Whether you're filling every block or every other, fill out the entire platform. Make your way to the exit, fill in the last of the blocks, and close up this glass hole. You can break the stairway on your way down. It should look like this inside now, where the frogs are just below the powdered snow. Now we need to build the magma spawning platforms. From the middle block, you're going to count out 12, including the one above the glass. This floor that we're creating will form the template for all the floors above it. Once you've gone out 12, you're going to go 5 to one side. You're going to make a segment that is 3 long that overlaps the 5 by 1. You're going to make another 3 that overlaps that by 1. Another 3 that overlaps that by 1, just like that. And then a 2 that overlaps that. Perfect. Now go to the other side where it would meet up. Go out 5 toward the one that you just built. You're going to come in here and do another 3 overlap just like before, another 3 overlap just like before, another 3 overlap, and then the second one being the one that was already there. And that should look like this when you're finished with the first quarter. So from the middle, you're going to go 5, 3, 3, 3, 2 on each segment. We're just going to repeat that all the way around until the circle is completely built. Your end should match up right on the last one, and when you go above, you should be able to see that it looks exactly like this. Now, we're never going to fill in the center of this. We're only going to work on the platforms on the outside part. So you're going to fill all of that in now. Just don't fill the middle where the magma cubes will go. Once your floor is filled in, you're going to build 5 out to the middle hole in the center. Place another block on top of that. You're going to surround that top block with iron bars, just like this. Now you're going to bridge out or jump to the center and put those on the back side as well. That. And then put one on each of the 4 corners here, 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 and here. From there, you're going to build up 5 or so blocks, so you can place an iron golem on there and drop them into this hole. Tower up next to it, build the iron golem like this. And when he spawns, you're just going to knock that block out below his feet. So there, and knock it out. He falls straight into the gap. Now you can knock out all the blocks except the top one, put one under it, and knock out the top one so there's just one directly above his head. Around the outside of the platform you just made, create a 3-high glass wall all the way around. This is going to go directly on top of the last blocks, not on the outside of the farm. Psst, like and subscribe, do the YouTube things. Now I did say this platform is repeatable from about 1 to 12 times. However, the more platforms you build, you run into the law of diminishing returns, which means that when you build 4 of them, it's going to give you 90% of the return of 8 platforms. Probably not worth building 8 when it's double the work, but only an extra 10% of the results. Once your glass wall is done, simply put an outline of solid blocks over this, build toward the middle, leave the center open, place your iron golem like you did before, and repeat the whole process. On the very top of the last level, you're going to create a strip of glass running from one side of the farm to the other. Now, to prevent gas spawning, you could leave a 3-block gap like this, but the slimes can jump, so they'll jump up on top of your farm and slow the rates down considerably, which means we're going to leave just a 2-block gap and then add another strip of glass. We're going to repeat this on all parts of the farm right here and come back, and once you're done, this will prevent gas spawn and prevent the slimes from jumping on top. If you're unsure about the gaps, just fill in the entire roof with glass, it's fine. Once your farm is done, you're going to build with scaffolding all the way up to Y250 and place an AFK platform like we've done here. You don't need the torch if you make it out of glass, but it makes me feel safer. Drop back down, you're going to see the farm running once you've AFK'd for a little while. The magmas are spawning, they're falling into the chamber down here, and the frogs are eating up all the baby magma cubes. That's it, your farm is done. More frogs and more platforms will slightly increase the rates of this farm, but 16 to 32 frogs and 2 platforms is just fine for most players. AFK this thing for an hour or 2 and you're not going to need frog lights for a good long time. These are some of the actual lights I got from my hardcore world the other night on stream. We AFK'd for about 45 to 50 minutes. Let me know how you go with the farm down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!